we're basically going to be running everything today. That is also using Jenkins too. So the first thing we need to do is we need to basically come over to our console home, and we need to come over to where we come over to our I am user. Okay, so we want to go to the user section and we want to create a new user. We want to call this user Terraform dash or let's just decide to call this user test. Right, so you can call the user anything. So we want to basically move on and attach policies directly. We want to scroll down to attach the administrator access. And when we scroll down, we can click on next. And yeah, we can create this user. And now we can go to our Terraform test user. And we can scroll down. And we can go to our security credentials. And come over to where we see the access key and create an access key. Then go to the local code, scroll down, tick this button, then next, then create access key. Okay, so this is the access key and I'm going to download the .csv file. So we have this. Let's basically keep this right here. Yeah, and so what next? We want to basically open the next thing I want to do is we want to go to our what's it called, EC2 section. So if you go to the EC2 section, you can basically click on this EC2 that's here. Okay, so we can go to our instances, and now when you are creating an instance there, please do not use T2 micro. I get what I'm saying. When you're trying to create an instance, do not use T2 micro while creating the instance. Are you getting me? If you basically want to use okay, give me a minute, please. Okay, so like I said before, you're not going to be using T2 micro. You are going to be using T2 medium. Not T2 micro. And T2 medium is not free tier. So whatever you are doing, just have it behind your mind that you are going to have a lot of bill. So you just know you're going to have a lot of views. So this is the Ubuntu, and if you scroll down, this is the free tier T2 micro, but we're not going to be using T2 micro like I said before. We are going to be using T2 dot medium, and the reason for this is because when you use T2 micro, when you're trying to basically run everything on Jenkins, basically you will it won't basically deploy. I get what I'm saying. The instance is too small for it to deploy that amount of code with the fact that you have basically installed every other thing. I get what I'm saying. You have installed Terraform using the installer.sh script. So when we go down, we can see the keep here we want to select. We can just select any random what keep here. and we can select an existing security group and choose a public security group, right? And if we scroll down, we can see launch instance, which we are going to basically choose. And our instance is basically creating. Okay, so our instance is still being created. Okay, so we want to now connect to this instance using the EC2 instance connect. Okay. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to clear this out. And we want to do a git clone into our directory or our repo that is created here, right? And you know the changes you're supposed to make to your repository. I basically said everything you need to change or you have to change, right? For instance, in the domain section, there are some places you need to make changes to. Yeah. So we will basically just come over here and do a git clone. So if you paste this, you can basically just clone this, and if you do ls, you can see into the updates, and if you do ls, you can see you can basically do a chmod and a plus x with the installer.sh, and we can now run this installer.sh. Okay, so so wherever pops up, just click enter. Okay. Okay, so now you can see that our Jenkins is currently active, and you will land on this page. So the next thing you need to do is just press Ctrl C, right? And you get this prompt. Now type in Y and press enter. So we have basically created everything. Everything has been created. We can now come back to our instance, copy the public IP address, go over to a new tab, and basically open port 8080 so that we can see Jenkins. So for the Jenkins, what's it called? It's going to ask you for an administrator password. You can already see that here. This is the Jenkins administrator password. Or if you basically want to use this command, which is the normal way, you can copy this part and come over to your browser and type in sudo cat, and you can paste that there. And you can see the password, which is basically still the same thing as this. So if we copy it and come over here and we paste it here, continue, do not save this. So you can see customize Jenkins plugins and install suggested plugins. And if you are installing suggested plugins, please do it on a good internet connection. Let your internet connection be good. And if you notice, this is a little bit faster than the normal T2 micro, because this is a T2 medium. So yeah, it is going to be faster. Okay, so we have everything here. Now we want to create our first admin user. So we can call the username mastermind, the password. Please do not forget your username and password. And okay, so we can now basically save and continue. So okay, and save and finish, then start using Jenkins. So this is our Jenkins dashboard. The first thing you need to do when you land here is to come over to your manage Jenkins section, scroll down and click on security. So scroll down to where you see CSRF protection and click on enable proxy compatibility. So we have clicked on that. Now save it. Okay, now that we're done with that, the next thing you need to do is to go to the credentials section. Now we click on the global credentials and we click on add credentials. So now that we have clicked on global and add credentials, the first credential we want to add is our GitHub. Yeah, we want to add our GitHub credential so that Jenkins can access our GitHub. So we basically copy this, come over here and paste it. Now we can now add our normal GitHub password. And note that when you're adding your GitHub password, this is not your personal access token password, right? Or like if you're trying to push from the terminal to your GitHub account, you need a personal access token code. But here it is your actual GitHub password. So I'm just going to type mine here. And the ID right in Git there. So create. Yeah, so we have our Git username and password. We want to add a new credential. Now we want to add a credential for our access key and our secret access key. So we need to come to this Jenkins file and come to where we basically created an environment for our access key, the actual variable we used, which is this AWS access key underscore ID. We come over here and we come to this new credential section, click on kind and scroll down to secret text, right? So now we're going to use the ID as the name that we basically created as a variable, and basically take our AWS secret access key rather that we created on Amazon, which is this. This is the access key. We're going to copy this and come over here, and we're going to paste that here, and we will create this. So the same thing we're going to do for our secret access key, secret text, the file that we're going to put here, come over here to take that. So we can just copy this, and we can go over to our AWS to copy the secret access key, and that's what we're going to paste in the secret here. So we're going to create this. So now, as you can see, we have our access key ID, we have our secret access key, we have our Git, and everything is created. So now we can come back to our dashboard here. So we now want to come to this new item section. We want to create our build. So we come to new items and we click on pipeline, yeah, and we're going to click on, we're going to just name this pipeline EKS. Yeah, we can name it EKS cluster or whatever name you want to name it. So we're going to click on OK. Okay, so now we need to just scroll down to the bottom of this, yeah, and the definition of our pipeline, we want to use the pipeline script from SCM, and we want to use Git, right? And we can scroll down, it's asking us for the repository URL, which we're going to come back here and we are going to copy that. So we come to the code and we're going to copy this, and we come back here and we paste the repository URL here, and we come to our credential section. The credential we created on Git, remember, this is the credentials here. So we're going to select that and we're going to scroll down. And now the branch, we need to look at the branch. What branch are we deploying everything in? You can see that the branch here is a main branch, right? It is not a master branch. Basically, there's no master branch here. So it's just a main branch. We need to come over here again to change this to main and scroll down. Now the EKS cluster is basically available on the cluster-Jenkins file. So this is the name of the file we want Jenkins to target. So if you copy that exact name and come to the script part and paste it here, right? It tells Jenkins that that is the file we want to basically run. So yeah. So if you basically come over to this file, we open the file, you can basically see what Jenkins is doing here. It's helping us to create our EKS cluster with Terraform init, Terraform apply, and it can also help us delete our EKS cluster with Terraform destroy -auto -outprove. So if you come down here, we can now click on build now, which will help us build our EKS cluster. Okay, so you can see down here is building. We're just waiting for it to come up. Okay, yeah, so it has come up here, and you can see the build is in progress. Cluster, create an EKS cluster is in progress. You can come here to see the logs, scroll down, so you can see everything that is being created, and you can see it's creating the node group, the master role, the VPC module, yeah. So we're just going to wait for this to finish running, and we will come back to it. So far, is there any question? Or you know what? If you have any question, just basically write it down, and after the whole class, we'll basically look into it. So let's check the progress of this. Okay, so it's just creating the ETS cluster. We can come over here to check that out. Okay, so this is the ETS cluster that's creating. Okay, so basically we can see like an error here, and that's basically because of my network had like an issue. Okay, so this same issue that I've been talking about, this key has to be present on your. So let me now do it so that you people that are having issues with it can see exactly how to do it. So we can just copy the root server to go over to our EKS section. So the cluster is created. If you go over to our EC2 rather, okay, so we go over to our EC2 section. We can scroll down to our key pairs. We can scroll down to our key pairs, and now we can create a new key pair. I get what I'm saying. So just come over here, create key pair. Make sure it is in the same region where everything is running. And we're going to place this key pair root server to London, and is a .perm. So we're just going to create that key pair. And now that it's created, we can now come back here. Let's cancel this out. We can come back here and basically run our build again. So now you can see that there's a new option here, which is build the parameter. So we click on that. So now, like I said before, you can choose to create, you can choose when to create or delete your AKS cluster. So if you want to create it, if you want to delete it, everything is all in the code here. So there's a code for delete, for destroying, there's a code for applying. So we want to basically create this so we can build it again, right? Because of the change we made. So if we basically come back here and we scroll down, we can see that our EKS node group is creating already. So we'll just have to wait for that.
Sorry, boss. If something like this is going to start the build
Yeah,
all over.
it will continue the build from where it stopped earlier. So there's no such
All right.
thing, right? So it seems like our build is done. If we check here in our logs, we can basically see everything is created. We can see the output of everything that these are the outputs basically. So yeah, everything is created. And we can now say, okay, we want to go back to our dashboard. We want to create a new item. We want to call this item Capstone. Yeah, and we want to call this a pipeline and okay. So we scroll down to where we have the pipeline definition and click on the pipeline script from SCM, right? And we're going to click the SCM just like we did before, which is Git. And also we need to provide the directory, which is our current directory that we're using. So we'll just copy the code like we want to clone it. Come over here and definitely paste that there. The credentials, we'll choose the credentials that we already created. Scroll down. Now this is in the main branch, and if you scroll down, the path to the script is also in this case is the Jenkins file, because this is the Jenkins file that basically runs all the whole Prometheus and everything. So all we just need to do is save this. Now that we've saved this, we can now build now, and this automatically helps us create everything on our EKS cluster. Okay, so we're still building the Prometheus. We have the last one, which is the Nginx-Ingress. So this is going to create like a C name, C record, the Nginx-Ingress, the host name, and it's also going to request a certificate from Amazon. So while it's requesting a certificate from Amazon, that might take a very long period of time. So when we reach that part, I'll basically show you guys what we do. So this is still running, every other thing has run. So basically what we can do is we can come back to our terminal and type in AWS. Okay, so you can just reload this. Okay, so we can go to our Route 53. Okay, so now you can see that it has automatically created a DNS hosted zone. And if you open this DNS hosted zone, you can see the domain that I specified here. And when you scroll down, you can now see Grafana and Sockshop, right? So this is the Grafana and Sockshop. And as you can see, it has also created our Nginx. So you can see that there's something connected to it, a load balancer connected to it. So if you select one of these, for in this case the Grafana, whatever, you can see the load balancer that was created, which is our Nginx-Ingress in this case, and you can see the Grafana whatever domain name you put, this is what's going to come up. I get what I'm saying. So now the same thing is for our sock shop. You can see this, but just know that this is not going to work if you take this now, and although the wonkolo.live domain name is not active, right? But if on your end you take this now and put it in the browser, it is not going to work. I get what I'm saying. You are definitely going to get like an error. So first thing you need to do is you need to come over to this section where it writes type namespace, I mean name servers rather. You need to come to that section. You need to enlarge this a little bit and scroll down to where you see these values. Yeah. So these values, you have the first value, the second value, the third value, the fourth value. Is there anybody here that has like a domain name? Yeah. Is there anybody here that has a domain name? And on what provider is your domain name?
Q server, I have a domain name.
On Q server.
Mm.
Okay, can you open that domain name? Open where it is actually located. So what we can come to here to do is we can do AWS configure, and we can see our access key and we can see our secret access key. So we can just come over here, copy the access key, come over here also, paste this, and come over here to copy the secret access key, come over here to paste this, and we can use the au-west-2 and JSON. So you can clear this out and we can do a AWS, or since we're already connected, right? We use Jenkins to connect to our cluster already. So we can just do like a qctl get get pods. Okay, so this is still showing not connected. We can use the AWS EKS, right? And dash dash region, and we can use EU dash west2, and we can write update dash q config. Yeah, and we can also use the dash dash name with our name hrdev dash eks dash demo. This is the name of our cluster. So if you run this, you can see we have access to our cluster now. And if you run our previous command, which is kubectl get pods, we can't find any pod. If you do a kubectl get namespace, you can see the list of namespaces that are present here, right? So everything we deployed is created in its own namespace. So you can see the sock shop is it has its own namespace. And if I do a kubectl get svc, yeah, if I do a kubectl get svc and I use the dash n, which stands for namespace, I can also use sock shop, which is also a namespace that is present here. And you can see all the namespaces or all the services that are basically present in the sock shop directory, or the sock shop namespace rather. So the same thing is going to be present for the Nginx-Ingress and for the Prometheus. I get what I'm saying. So now, how this works is this: when you come over here to your Grafana, if you actually like have any domain name, and you come over to your Grafana, when you're done connecting your name servers to your domain provider, when you come over to your Grafana and you paste your Grafana in the browser, right, the Grafana page is open for you. Same thing with your sock shop. I get what I'm saying. So, Mr. Adedeji, do you have the um, provider open?
Yes.
Okay, please, can you share your screen, please? So now, note that it is these four name servers that are here, right? You are going to copy each and every one of them. This when you come to this name servers type, these four name servers that are here, you are going to copy each and every one of them, and you are going to paste it on your what's it called, your domain providers name servers. They will give you a particular section where you can um, they will give you a particular section where you can put the name server. So let's see your domain provider, please.
Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you zoom in a little bit? Okay, so look around. Is there anywhere you can see manage domain name or something?
Manage name server.
Okay, yeah, click on the manage name server. So if you're using a domain provider, any domain provider should have this. Are you getting what I'm saying? So have you clicked on it? Is this it?
Yes.
Okay, so now you can see the name servers that are there. Where you see name server 1, name server 2, name server 3, that is where you're supposed to copy everything in your Route 53 and paste it there one by one. Note that by default, if you're just trying to copy it, you should see like a full stop behind it. I get what I'm saying. This is behind every name server. So you should not copy that full stop. Remove the full stop because if you try to save it, you will get an error. And when you're done pasting all the name servers here, right? Okay, so you know what we'll do? Mr. Adedeji, let me copy the name servers and send it over to you so you can paste it there so it will be better understood.
Okay.
Okay, so you can paste it now. So those are the name servers that I talked about from your Route 53 section. And when you are done doing all this, you should know that the server won't come up immediately. I get what I'm saying. It should take within 2 hours before it should come up, right? Before it can, you can be able to see your sock shop and you can be able to see your Grafana. It should take you 2 hours. I get what I'm saying. So just keep that in
Hello,
mind.
mentor.
Yeah, yeah,
But I don't think it will work because you use your
yeah, yeah.
own
It
name
won't work.
server.
I'm just showing like an example of how they are supposed to put the name servers. Okay, try to
Okay.
save it now. So when you're done putting your own name server, you just click on save, right? And it will automatically update on your domain provider. I get what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So yeah, so you can see it has saved, and within the next 2 hours, that is if you were using an actual domain name, yeah, you should be able to see your sock shop application and your Grafana. So thank you, Mr. Abideji. You can stop sharing your screen now. Okay, so if we come back here, right? If we come back to our name server section, basically we've covered this part. We've covered the Jenkins. Like I said, this is still going to be running because if you go to our what's it called, our ACM, which is Amazon Certificate Manager, right? And we go to Certificate Manager, you can see that our request that we sent to create a certificate for our domain name is still processing. So if we list certificate, you can see this, right? Amazon issued pending validation, right? So that's the reason why this is still loading here. Are you getting what I'm saying? So to stop this from loading, you can just basically come here, cancel this, and yes, and you can basically just reload your yeah, and you can see it was aborted. That doesn't mean everything didn't run. Are you getting what I'm saying? Everything basically ran, but the only issue is we're still waiting for this to be validated. So if we reload this, you can still see this is still pending validation. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's that. And yeah, so if how do you now access your Grafana? So when we come over here, we can see the Prometheus namespace also is present. What we need to do now is we need to do a qctl. So normally, if you were using the normal name server method, the reason why I'm doing this manually is because of the domain name I currently have is inactive. I get what I'm saying. If it was your own domain name, when you're done uploading or getting the name servers, the only thing you need to do, right, is just to come over to your Route 53 and take this what's it called? Take this domain subdomain grafana dot your domain name whatever and paste it in your browser. That is the only thing you need to do, right? Take it and paste it in your browser. You should be able to access grafana from there. Are you getting me? But the reason my domain name isn't currently active, so that's the reason why I'm doing this manually. So kubectl get svc, and we do -n and we use Prometheus, right? And we should be able to see all the Prometheus. Now, the particular service we need to focus on is this Prometheus Grafana. Yeah, this is the service that gives us access to Prometheus. So we need to do a kubectl edit svc. So you don't need to bother about this, right? So edit svc. I just want to show you guys how to log into Prometheus, and so we'll just basically come over here to copy this Prometheus Grafana. So copy and paste. So we use a -n and Prometheus. So now we scroll down to the bottom to where we have cluster IP, right? And we use I to insert. So we clear this out and we use the load balancer. Yeah, so a load balancer, we use escape and :wq. So yeah, when we now run the same command again to get the whatever, we should be able to see a load balancer now present. So if we copy this load balancer and we put it in our browser, so this should take a while. Let's basically wait for the load balancer to click up finish. Okay, so this is taking time. Let's see. Okay, so if we come over here, we can go to EC2. Scroll down to where we have our load balancers. So if you cancel this out, you can see we have two load balancers. One is for the Nginx-Ingress, which is this first one. The second one is for the load balancer we just created. So we are waiting for this to come up. Okay, so let's see. We just have to wait a while for it to come up. Okay, so now we can see it has come up and we can see the Grafana dashboard. So let's wait for this to load. Okay, so now you should be prompted with. Okay, so let me create a new link for you guys. Let's continue. So now this is the Grafana dashboard. When you basically create Grafana, you will be prompted to log into Grafana, and there's a default username and a default password you need to basically use to log in. And the default username is
Sorry,
admin.
boss. Are you sharing your screen? Sorry.
Okay. Um, okay. Hope you guys can see my screen now. Yeah. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So like I said, the default username for Grafana is admin, and the default password is prom dash operator. So yeah, so this is the default password, prom dash operator. This is the default username, admin. So you now need to click on login. Yeah, so you can see logged in. So this is the Grafana dashboard, and you can use this to basically check out all your data that you have, all your pods that are currently running. So if you go to the dashboard, general, we can basically check out the Kubernetes pods. Okay. Okay, so we can come back to check the. So scroll down, save to JSON file, cancel. So yeah, we can see the pods, the node pods, right? You can see all the database, everything we basically deployed, the AWS node, the cat DB, the catalog that we created. We can see the payment service we created, and we can see the CPU usage. We can basically see everything. You can see the memory usage of everything. So you can basically just observe everything that is being created, so you can get access to the Grafana dashboard. Yeah. So to delete this, because I have to delete this, it's a load balancer, and if I don't delete it, I will have like an error when I'm trying to delete the ETS cluster. So to delete this, the same command we use to kubectl edit svc Prometheus Kubernetes. So we scroll down and we change this load balancer's what's it called, load balancer, the name from the type from load balancer to a cluster IP. So we can escape colon WQ and enter. And if we run our previous command again, we should not be able to see this load balancer on the Prometheus Grafana section. And if we come back to our load balancers, we should see that we only have one load balancer available here because we deleted the other one. And our Grafana won't be working. Our Grafana dashboard won't be working anymore. So we can just cancel this out. So yeah, now that we've created everything, and let's say we want to destroy it. Are you getting what I'm saying? You want to destroy it. So how do we destroy it? The first thing we destroy is the Capstone project. Are you getting me? So we come to the build the parameters, yeah, and we go to the parameters, we select destroy instead of create, and we click on build. So yeah, you can basically see everything is starting to get destroyed. So that is on this end. You can see everything gets starting to get destroyed. And if we go back to our let's go back to our EKS. Okay, so if you have questions, please you can start dropping your questions now. So basically, we're done with everything. This is if you want to basically destroy your whole work, right? You can destroy everything using the destroy property that is currently there.
All right, boss. Sorry, just a quick one. You talked about that ACM, that certificate, Amazon certificate managers that kept the Jenkins to be loading, continuously loading before you stopped it.
Yeah,
Or you when you went to the dashboard, the Amazon dashboard, you saw that the it was pending.
yeah.
So what are we supposed to do to that? You just leave it be
Well,
like that?
Amazon will have to validate your request to collect ECM, right? So you have to wait for a while before that can be created.
Like you have to keep the instance running. You
No,
you
no, no,
have
no,
to
no.
keep.
You don't have to keep it running, right? So you saw that I terminated it and it was still active. I get what I'm saying. It was still active. It was still requesting. So I just kind of aborted it. That doesn't mean it will affect the request from.
Okay, the certificate the use is for security for the HTTPS.
Yeah,
For,
exactly. It's for
all right.
security, as I said. Although if you want to explore other ways, there are other ways you can do it. You can use Let's Encrypt. So you can request a certificate from Let's Encrypt, and you can basically pass it through Kubernetes by using secrets and the rest, right? But we're not going to be looking at that. So this is one of the easiest way. I mean, since everything we're doing is on Amazon, why not just use Amazon to request the what's it called? Yeah, you can unmute your mic, please.
Okay, so on the event that after finishing the work,
Yeah.
how do I submit it as my capstone project before I destroy it?
Okay, I don't think Alt school said you should submit any screenshot, am I right? Or any link to your website. Was that said you should submit anything like that? I don't know.
Yeah, screenshots.
They say you should take a screenshot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to run it then. Take a screenshot of your sock shop and the Grafana page, and yeah, you can basically submit that with your script. The script is the most important thing, right? Because that's what they will go through.
Okay, sorry. Another one. You said we'll have to wait for like 2 hours after putting the name servers
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
domain name.
Exactly.
So will that still happen after destroying your deployment?
Will you have to wait for 2 hours before you destroy? Is that what you're
Yeah,
asking? No, it
yeah.
destroys instantly. You don't wait for 2 hours.
So but the request you made by putting in the name servers in your domain name, it's still active. You can still access it after the 2 hours.
Okay, I'm kind of confused by your question. Can you please
You
like
said when you put the name servers in your domain name,
yeah.
it will only be active after 2 hours.
No, 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 no. When you put the what's it called? The name servers, the code, the name servers, yeah, the name servers, when you take it and put it to your domain provider, I get what I'm saying. You're just trying to connect Amazon and your domain provider to tell your domain provider that this is where you are hosting your application. I get what I'm saying. So now that is only going to be available. I get me. Once you basically do that and you deploy your Route 53, it is not going to come up immediately, right? It's going to take about 2 hours before you can now access your sock shop and access your Grafana using your domain name. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get. So that means in essence, to be able to take screenshot now, we'll have to use the load balancer method just as you did. Because to access the sock shop and the Grafana, using the domain name, you'll have to wait 2 hours, and
Yeah,
we cannot keep the
yeah.
deployment running for 2 hours. So that means to take screenshots, we'll have to use load balancer method.
Well, if you use the load balancer method, then where's the domain name won't show. I get what I'm saying. The whole point of everything is for the domain name to show. So
So that means in essence, we'll have to keep the deployment
we have
running
to
for.
wait for 2 hours. Yeah, exactly. For anything is Altcoin might tell you guys to leave everything running. So I don't know about that. That is between you guys and Altcoin. So yeah. So as you can see, we are basically done with the capstone. We can go back to our dashboard. This has been deleted. We now want to delete our AKS cluster. So we can now build the parameters, then destroy, then build. So this has been deleted. Okay, this is deleted. So I'm guessing this is going to be all on the Capstone project. If you have any issues while you're trying to run this, you can reach out to me on the group or privately. Thank you.
Hello, mentor.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. The ACM certificate, what's the connectivity between it and by the time wait for the Route 53 to uh, accept the domain name?
Okay, I don't understand the question.
You said we will need to request ACM certificate for HTTPS
Yeah,
security.
yeah.
Yeah, how long will that take? And is it going to be the same 2 hours that will wait for Route
No,
53,
it's not going to be the
or
same.
that will not take long?
I basically don't know how long that's going to take. I get what I'm saying. But it's not going to be the same as your distance to come up.
Which one comes first?
The domain name comes first. You'll be able
So
to
one,
access your domain name in 2 hours, but the Route 53, the ACM certificate is not known. I get what I'm saying. So that depends on Amazon.
but I think the main objective of the project is for us to be able to access our domain name and take a snapshot.
Yeah, I've not seen the submission form, so I don't really know. Yeah,
So I think that's the main objective of the whole process. So that means once we are able to access our domain name, then we can take snapshot. Because if not, how are we go? And it's stated that we should use automation. So
yeah,
if you want to go and be using kubectl get service and taking screenshot, that means we've turned it to manual.
exactly.
So I think we should. The best thing is to just go the automation route.
Okay. So and another important thing is to submit your script. The script basically tells whoever is reading it that this is what you did. So even if they look at the script and they see that the SSL is not applied immediately, they will be able to understand from the script that you already requested for a certificate through ACM. So
With a good readme, it will explain almost everything.
yeah, exactly. Um, Mr. Samuel, you can unmute your mic, please.
Um, uh, okay, mentor. I could see that you copy something from your gate.
Okay.
That is your script. Then you will look. Can you go back and let me show you something? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
In case I am doing mine,
Yeah.
but if I copy it, your name is there.
Okay. One name is that.
in Wokolo Emmanuel 6.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is my directory, right? When you clone this, I get what I'm saying.
Okay.
You clone this to your private, either to your local machine. I get what I'm saying. Using Git,
Okay.
you clone it. After cloning it, you delete the .git file that is there. There will be by
Oh, okay.
default a .git file. You do a rm, you cd into this directory and do rm-rf.git. So I can show you through here. So if I cd into update, just like we cloned this, so ls, and I can do ls-al, since this is the .git file I'm talking about. I get what I'm saying. So
Okay.
you can see this .git file here. Is so far as you clone this repository, it will always be there. So what you should do now is rm-rf, then .git. I get what I'm saying. Then run this command. It deletes this .git file, and you can now start all over the whole Git process again from git init, right? Right. You first run a git init, and you run a git commit, or a git add rather. Then you run the git commit. Then you go over to your GitHub repository, create a new repository, right? So you can new repository, you can create a new repository, give it a name, give it whatever. Then on that new repository, you see step-by-step process of how you can push your code to GitHub. Use the step-by-step process and push your code to GitHub. Then you can now copy it from there to now start running the EKS or the EC2 cluster, then run the installer, the SH, and every other thing. So yeah, hope I was able to answer your question, Mr. Simon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I hope today we'll be expecting 2 recorded videos.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It will be dropped
Okay.
today.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so this is still deleting. I just want to show you guys how you can clean everything up. So once this finish deleting, the next thing you should delete is your, what's it called? Your EC2 instance, right? The next thing you should delete is your EC2 instance, and yeah, you are good to go from there. Because remember, this is not a free tier instance, this is a T2 micro. So more, you basically be charged for it.
Hello, mentor.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. How about people that are running it from their local machine?
Okay, so if you're running from a local machine, that would be great. So in this case, will I say advice? I will advise you to try running from a local machine because of the build that you basically get from AWS if you're using like a T2 medium. Yeah. But the only issue now is you might like have like a problem, or it might be lagging. Jenkins might lag while you're trying to run it locally, but there's only one way to find out is by running it locally. If it doesn't work, you know that the only way you have to do it is creating like a T2 medium to run it.
Thank you.
Sorry, mentor. If you run it, for instance, try to run from your local machine,
Yeah.
how then do you access your Route 53 to copy the name servers to your domain name?
The How do you access Route 53?
Yeah, when you
Okay,
run from your local machine.
okay. So this what is this instance that is here, right? This is just like saying you are running on your local machine. I get what I'm saying. You can run this anywhere. You can This server can be anywhere, right? In the video on Telegram, it was on DigitalOcean. I guess what I'm saying. You can decide to run it locally, right? That doesn't affect Route 53. Route 53 will be created on AWS, so it's still the same process. Yeah, hope
And,
I was
and
able to.
again, mentor,
Okay.
instead of cloning the repo, what if once download it and put it in the directory, we won't still need to delete the .git file?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Instead of cloning the repo,
Okay.
with that will go come along with the .git file. If
Okay.
one download the code from my local machine, then I copy it and put it in my directory. Will I still need to delete the? Will there still
Okay.
be any point of
Download.
deleting .git
Download as how? What do you mean download?
from this code now? If you click on it,
Okay.
this download zip.
Oh, well, you just have to check. I've not really tried out downloading a GitHub repository before, so I don't really know. You will just have to check it out. See if you can see
Okay,
the .git file there. If it's present, just delete it. That's the only thing you need to do.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. So we can see the EKS is deleted. We can go back to our dashboard, and yeah, it was deleted successfully. We can come over here to reload our EKS cluster, and it won't be there. And we can basically delete this, and in our what's it called, we can see the two instances that we launched has been terminated. Yeah. And if you scroll down, if you go to our load balancers, we should not be able to see any load balancer here. So just for extra checking, if you go to our VPC section, we want to check the what's it called, the we want to check the VPC if it has been deleted. So let's go to cross check. So we have one VPC 3 subnet, which is also the default, and our NAT gateway, it has been deleted. If we also check our elastic IP, so there are no elastic IPs found in this region. So if you go to our EC2, now we want to delete the Jenkins what was it called? The Jenkins instance, which is this. We want to delete this instance. What we can do now is we can come over to our instances here. We can click on the Jenkins instance and we can delete it. Right? So we named the Jenkins instance. This is the T2 medium. So yeah, this is what we want to delete. So we can just click on it, instance state, and terminate instance. So terminate. Okay, so this has been terminated, and basically that's all you need to do for the Capstone project. Is there any questions so far? Okay, so if there are no questions, I'll basically leave you guys to run it, and if you have any errors, you can reach out to me. If you have any questions after this class, you can definitely send it to the mastermind group, or you can chat me up.
Sorry, like quick one, and it's maybe taking me back a bit. The installer.sh, right? I've
Yeah.
run it before now and successfully. I'm trying to run it now, and I seem to be having problem with Jenkins.
Are you
It
running it?
keeps.
Are you running it on the same machine?
I'm running it on no on a new EC2 I just created.
A new EC2 you just created.
Yeah.
So the previous one you ran, was it on this new EC2 or on the previous EC2?
No. So I did. I terminated that EC2 and I created another one.
Okay, so
I mean,
what's the error you're getting with Jenkins?
so basically, it says package Jenkins has no installation candidate. Failed to enable. It failed to enable unit file Jenkins.service. Jenkins.service does not exist. Blah blah blah. And when I check to see whether it's installed Jenkins version, it says not there. I've tried to run it. I've tried to enter the command manually in the command line. The same thing. I don't know.
Okay, the last time you ran the script, did you get this error?
Yeah. No, I did not. That's why I'm surprised. It's just pissing me off.
Yeah,
I did not.
try to create a new instance and run it again.
Oh, wow. Okay, no, well, I'll try. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll try on my local machine again as well to see.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
So yeah, that was the end of today's class.
Hello, mentor.
Yeah.
The bastion. What was the function of the bastion in
Okay,
the
so
EKS.
the whole point of a version host is to help you access a private instance in a private subnet. So the version also has to always be in a public subnet, right? And most important thing of all is that they both need to be in the same VPC. If they're not in the same VPC, then it can't work, right? So we are not creating a private instance for EKS. I get what I'm saying. We are only using public. I get me. So that's the reason why we're not using the version host.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, see you guys on Tuesday.
Hmm?